Hi guys, I'm Marius from Alfa Attitude. Today we're in the Langhe region in northern Italy. We're here to drive the new Junior Q4 and we have with us today to guide us through this new model, Mario Lamagna, who's head of Alfa Romeo product. There is still a bit of controversy going on with this new Alfa Romeo. To me, as an Alfista, it's a real Alfa Romeo, but to some other people, maybe it's not a real Alfa Romeo. So what makes it, in your eyes, a real Alfa?
The Q4 is a real Alfa Romeo because, for example, all Alfa Romeo have a Q4 version in their range. And then, I don't know you, but there is nothing more Alfa for me than a grille where the car is breathing from the Alfa Romeo heritage lettering that I used to see on the old Formula 1s from the 20s. So
exactly.
I'm in love with that.
That's a throwback to the pre-war cars with the open grille, with the open Scudetto.
And then this car puts together the sporty soul of the brand with the capable soul of the brand that is Q4. So with this you have the optimal balance between the performance of an all-wheel drive version, the efficiency that we need in modern cars, and the sportiness thanks to the multi-link suspension that guides you to all the corners in a perfect way.
We'll have the same sporty soul but in a smaller package. That's the idea behind it.
Yes, sure.
I'm looking forward to see how it behaves, how it drives. So yeah, sun is coming up, we can hit the road.
Let's drive.
Okay. We're on board Junior Q4 now, and since we're inside, we have to know what makes it from the inside feel like an Alfa Romeo.
Another car brand that can be so recognizable if not Alfa Romeo. I mean, it's all the cockpit smells of sport car. There is Alcantara almost everywhere. The steering wheel is compact. You feel the connection with the car, and also these seats are so nice to hear under your butt. No, you feel really.
It embraces you.
Yeah.
And since we're going up the hill here now, maybe you could explain to us a bit about the torque distribution. We are in the Q4 version, so that's one of the points when the rear engine on the rear axle will come in.
Yes, so the Q4 is able to recognize, there is a software that is able to recognize when there is the need to introduce the rear traction. The rear traction can go from 52-50 to 60-40 depending on the driving conditions. Actually, you can set it also in a forced way, so that for example, in dynamic mode, you have the Q4 always on until 40 km/h to let you fly at the beginning of the acceleration. Or, for example, in Q4 mode, you have that, I would say, locked again virtually.
Rear axle.
Drive, yes, until 30 km/h with a calibration that boosts the traction to go in the snow, in the mud, so that you are always under control. Then, until 90 km/h, the system is always ready, and as soon as there is a slip or there is a need or there is a slope, because there is also a sensor for the road slope, the Q4 kicks in so that you can have a very high amount of torque.
So whenever there is an inclination, a road inclination, it will kick in automatically.
Yes, there is a reducer of 22 ratio. You go close to 2000 Newton meters at the wheels of torque.
What about bends? Does it react on the bends?
Compared to the Ibrida, the flow, I would say it's smoother because thanks to the multi-link suspension on the rear, the car turns in faster. There is something like more than 10% gain in the yaw rate at the beginning of the turn, so that you feel more, I would say, the pleasure is higher because you feel that the tail of the car is more stable. Then of course it's something that you need to try. So if you drive it, you realize how enjoyable it is. And this is the fun thing about Q4, that is so balanced, even if it is, I would say, an all-wheel drive.
Yeah, it's always the same thing. It like with the other versions that we've driven on the Balacor racetrack. It lets you play, it lets you push it, but at the same time it gives you that feeling of safety.
You are safe because it's not only about the weight, it's not only about the, I would say, your sensation on the wheels, but it's also how easy is to drive the car, and this is valid for all Junior, not only for the Q4. I mean, it's really something that you get used very, very soon, and I think it's one of the best added value of this car. It's so compact, the power is the right one, 145 horsepower. With this weight, 1.5 ton, we are really happy with the balance of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. As an Alfista, you would, and because it's a new model in the Alfa Romeo range, you would maybe in the back of your head always compare it to the existing Q4 systems in the range. But that's something new. It's totally different, and it's another way of having the all-wheel drive.
Let's always remember that the Junior is the entry card of the brand. It's the most compact Alfa you can buy today. It's the most affordable one, let's say it. I mean, it's a good thing for us. The point is that we wanted a modern all-wheel drive. We want an all-wheel drive that is efficient every day, so that when you don't need to drive all the wheels, it's an efficient front-wheel drive.
Exactly, it behaves like a normal front-wheel drive.
Yes, and you can benefit of it in the running cost, because from a fuel efficiency standpoint, it's very close to the Ibrida. But it has also that more grand soul, because if you put in dynamic, you have a boost mode where all the energy from the battery and from the fuel is released, so that you have that kick at the beginning of the acceleration, and you feel there is that additional rear motor that is helping you to have more fun, and for sure is another interpretation of the traditional mechanical all-wheel drive. And I think it was time to have a little bit of innovation on this segment as well. We really believe that's a good balance.
Yes, it's interesting that you mentioned weight, because obviously when you're adding something up, it's always the question about weight. Extra batteries, extra rear-wheel drive system. So how does that compare to the Junior, to the normal Junior?
So the weight is fundamental for Alfa Romeo. We have never been the most powerful cars. We have never been the I would say the most extreme cars, but we use weight balancing to design our cars in the most I would say balanced way, efficient way, optimal way. So when we understood that there was an opportunity, there was a way to get rid, for example, of the central transmission shaft from the two axle that is traditional of the mechanical all-wheel drive.
It's basically a weight reduction.
Yes, we say, okay, let's do it. Let's focus on the improvement of the multi-link suspension. Yes, we have a rear e-motor, so that's physics, it's added weight.
Yes.
But if you work on the calibration between the two motors, if you work with the new anti-roll bars, if you work with the springs and the multi-link suspension, at the end, honestly, I'm not feeling any additional weight in driving the cars. And if you think that the understeer of Q4 is 30% less than the front-wheel drive, you understand what you can do with the Alfa engineers. They are so passionate about driving dynamics, so they are the first one that want to push the car.
Because that brings me to the feeling of having, like, for me it's quite similar, the feeling that I'm getting in this car to the feeling that we're getting in the recent Alfa. Of course, it's a different total ball game, Giulia and Stelvio. I'm not going to touch a saint here or say something that is not true, but the feeling that you're getting behind the wheel is a familiar feeling. It's not a totally different car, not a totally different philosophy. It's a different package, of course, but it's a familiar place.
Really, the target was to have people driving an Alfa, having fun, super easy. So you don't need 500 horsepower to have fun, but you need something where you can enjoy, even if it is a everyday car, it's a 4-meter car, you go shopping, you go to work, but every day you have that smile on your face in the middle of every roundabout or turn.
Exactly.
Because you feel there is something different in it, and of course there is a bias, because every time I see the Alfa logo in my steering wheel, I perceive it's something special. But it's not all about style. It's again the overall small things that are thought and engineer and design with the driver in mind every time, because he or she needs to have fun every time.
Yes, and that's what I was telling you, that I get the same familiar feeling, because yes, you can have fun, you don't have to push it, but once you're going up the bends, like we went up that hill, you can feel it. The car is lively, and the car is it's a pleasure to drive. However, it's not going to be positioned like a hot hatch, we would say, and not myself, but many other journalists have said it, that the Veloce is like the modern current hot hatch. However, the Q4 is going to sit at the top of the range, right?
For Ibrida, yes. For Ibrida, yes. Okay. Junior Veloce represents, so the Elettrica Veloce, 280 horsepower, represents the pinnacle, I would say, of the Junior range, and that's for sure a statement of the brand, where we want to go. Q4, the Ibrida, is the best of the Ibrida range, so a car equipped with an ICE, and of course that's a step, I would say, in between the two Junior, the everyday car, and the Veloce. So we think that this car can be very enjoyable for the ones that are pushing to have, I would say, an everyday sporty car, but they, for whatever reason, they are not willing to step to an electric car. By the way, they don't know what they miss with the Veloce because
no, definitely, that's a game changer. It was for me, and I never thought that you could have so much fun with an electric car. And yeah, it's difficult. Even that car is difficult to push it to the real limit. Like the limit of the car is beyond a normal driver's capability.
Yeah, maybe it is. But the Q4, the Q4 is a different interpretation, no? Because we wanted something that was, I would say, putting in a single car all the different best things of the many Junior that you have today. The sportiness of the Veloce, the everyday efficiency and inclusiveness of the other Junior, and we believe it's something very interesting, not only for the ones that are looking for an all-wheel drive car, because maybe not everyone needs an all-wheel drive car. The good thing is that if the car senses that you don't need the all-wheel drive, the all-wheel drive is not there.
It will not intervene. It will not kick in.
But if you want it, it's there. So it's we think it's very.
Yes, that's a good take. Like that's the best of the range in all normal daily life possibilities that you could encounter. And if you're looking for a car in this segment and you want an Alfa, you want this Alfa in this segment, that gives you the best of everything, really. Staying with a petrol-powered version, staying within a hybrid version. Is there place for future developments on this platform, or how do you see the evolution of the Q4 in this type of car, in this type of powertrain?
As usual in the business, we need to I would say, to get the results. The results are pretty good.
That's what I was going to tell you. Yes, sorry for interrupting you. I came back because I'm always in close connection with our audience, with the Alfisti on social media and so forth. And there is still a bit of controversy, right? But the market is reacting more positively than people are reacting on social media.
Yes, I mean,
and that's encouraging.
It's the point is that the Alfisti crew, the Alfisti, I would say, world around the web, they are, I would say they are very passionate. We understand them because they are a very good asset for us, because we really believe that everything starts with your lovers. So we owe everything to them. The point is that we need to find other customers that maybe didn't have the reason to buy a big Giulia or a Stelvio, or maybe they don't have the space in the garage, or maybe they don't need so much big car. So we, with Junior, we want to bring them the Alfa that they can buy, and also we wanted them to choose what they want, if they want a hybrid car or a BV car. At the end, if you look at the results, we are close to 30,000 orders around the world. We launched 38 markets so far. This year we will launch also Japan and Mexico overseas. We are trying to have more and more people trying the car. If you go to a dealer, you have to drive the car, just test drive it, and then you decide if you don't like it or not. Of course, you need to, you need to get in love with the way the Alfa drives. We believe that the results are coming. People are very happy about the car. We saw some researches where the actual customers of the car, they are very satisfied with Junior.
The real feedback, let's call it that way, from the paying customers.
Yes.
That's very important, yes.
And of course, we are committed on quality, we are committed on continuous improvement. So regarding future developments, again, the industry is changing a lot. I believe this is the most competitive and complicated sector in the recent years. There are a lot of different factors coming from the inside, from the outside, raw material, new technologies, even also politics sometimes.
Exactly, without going too much into politics, but I was going to tell you that some people from the other side of the ocean, from America, from the United States, are asking or are telling that, wow, that maybe could be a good proposition for the United States market. But in today's political climate, that's not an easy decision to take.
The point is that we support the fact that the automotive industry is a very big industry that is paying salary to thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people around the world. So we never have to forget what at the end are the results of the action that we take.
But for the moment, there are no concrete plans in bringing the Junior in the United States.
It depends. We think, if you think that Junior is a very small car for the United States, we think that if there could be the opportunities, we would be the first one to be willing to step into the game. The point is that we need certainty. We need a clear scenario where we can work. The automotive industry is not a super fast industry, because you need to.
Of course, you need your development plans.
You have to develop. It's not just to homologate and go. It's not a piece of paper.
Yes.
There are serious development around there. So, of course, with a clear scenario, then we can take the correct business decisions. This, let's not hide it, it's a car that is meant for small segments, for markets where the small segments are strong.
And that has been traditionally Europe.
Yes, or the markets that are Europe follower in terms of industry and product. For the United States, you need to focus on say bigger segments. We have something in our mind, but of course it's this additional uncertainty in the market for sure will not help any car maker to do the choices.
Troubling times for all the car makers. It's not that Alfa itself finds itself in a difficult situation and the others are like booming. We're taking the motorway now, and maybe it's a good chance to appreciate here the ADAS systems that the car has. It's not anything that has been premiered with this version. It's those are the same systems that we already have on the Elettrica and the Ibrida versions.
Q4 includes all the driving assistance systems that we offer on Junior, full optional, as many would say. You have autonomous drive level 2 as a standard, so it means that in the highway, of course, keeping your hands on the wheel, on the steering wheel, but the car is able to follow the lanes and to adapt the speed according to the front cars and, of course, to the speed limits. Then you have everything that you want from a 4-meter car, from the rear camera, you have lift gate, everything. But this car has all the driving assistance systems as a standard that we have on Junior.
How does the rear traction react on a normal leveled road like this one? Will it kick in when you're pushing the accelerator, or it will only stay front wheel drive?
If there is no slip, for example here now there is no slip, so the car is at the end.
Okay, so it doesn't need it basically?
No, it doesn't need it.
However, if there are slippery conditions, even on a normal leveled road, it can intervene.
Until 90 kilometers per hour, yes, it will intervene, okay. Balancing according to the torque distribution, it will kick in.
That's an interesting safety feature at the end of the day.
Sure. It's something we wanted to do to push to the highest possible speed the capability of intervention of the rear motor. That is, by the way, 21 kilowatt. So it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good power.
Yeah, it's substantial on its own. Like in small hybrids, that's the power output of the small engine that will leave the car drive by alone, on electric power alone.
Yes. Again, two motors, one in the front, one in the rear. The one in the front is embedded in the gearbox, and the engine is the top engine power is 136. But then if you combine the hybrid power, you reach 145.
What happens when you could be left out without energy in your battery? And you would still need, according to the road conditions, you would still need the rear traction. Will it still work?
Sure. This was something we did on purpose. It was the first question that we discussed with engineers was, we want this new hybrid system, but let's be sure that our customer can be safe in all the conditions and have the rear motor traction every time. And the answer was, okay, let's do this. We call it power looping. Means that the energy flow is looping inside the car because from the IC engine we send energy directly without going through the battery, direct to the rear e-motor, so that if and only if the battery is
it's working like a chain.
Yes.
It's in a simplistic way, but it will be a chain.
If the battery is drained, the fuel from the engine will provide energy to the rear motor, so that the customer doesn't need to focus on the battery state of charge, because if it is zero, there is anyway traction on the rear if you put on Q4 mode, and we call it this power looping technology that enables you to have all-wheel drive every time you need, regardless of the condition of the battery.
Is this system specific Alfa Romeo or exclusively Alfa Romeo?
No, it has been developed first for this new powertrain in Stellantis, and it's something that, of course, when it makes sense in Stellantis, we always
it will be adopted by other cars. Yes.
At the end, it doesn't need to be specific for Alfa Romeo because it makes sense for all the customers. What is specific for Alfa Romeo is what you feel when you drive, so the calibration.
Exactly. The differentiation is made with the calibration,
Yes.
with the setup system of the suspension, basically, and the way
Yes.
that interacts with the road.
And with the DNA modes.
By the way, the Q4 system is accessible through the DNA command system.
Yes, now I am in dynamic. If you put on Q4, the car is automatically able to switch from, as I told you before, from 0 to 30 kilometers per hour, there is a permanent all-wheel drive. Then until 90, it's smart, so means that it's always engaged and ready to kick in, and the car automatically detects the driving condition. Then instead, if you put in dynamic, the Q4 is locked until 40 kilometers per hour to improve the traction, launching,
yeah.
Yes, the traction at the beginning. And instead, if you put in natural or advanced efficiency, it's simply ready and automatic to kick in when the car detects both a slope or slippery condition, but otherwise then the focus is more on the efficiency.
The efficiency, on the fuel efficiency. So it's a small car, small Alfa. Such a small car, it's not anymore because all the small cars have grown. But it still packs a lot of technology.
Yes, we believe that regardless of the size, both of the car and of the wallet of the driver, you need to enjoy. So we try to put all the technologies that we have.
So the client is getting his or her money's worth.
Yes.
Because the car is packed with technology.
Yes, if you think that the technology, the feature list, the feature set of Junior is almost overlapping with one of the Tonale. So the two compact segments of Alfa Romeo share almost the same level of contents, and this lets you understand how technological Junior is. So we think that the customers will benefit of that on a daily basis. Wow, by the way, every time I look into my mirror, I see the Junior that is following us. It's so aggressive.
Exactly, it's becoming a signature. I was noticing it today, driving together with our colleagues, and I was looking in the mirror, and yeah, it has its stance, it has a presence on the road, and I don't know. I'm trying to be partial here. I cannot be partial because I'm an Alfista, but I could never say that this car looks like a Renault Captur or like any of the other cars that you see on the road. With the 333 headlight and with the Scudetto, it's a clearly, visibly recognizable Alfa Romeo, and it has its own personality already, at least for me.
To innovate and to design something new is never easy. It's something that it's part of the auto industry. We cannot and we don't want to design every time the same car. But I think that people now are getting more and more in love with this new design. Personally, I'm in love, but I mean, like you, I am. I have a bias. But no, it's we are really happy with that.
It does look sometimes like a funky robot, like a funky transformer. Like it's not a mean transformer, it's a transformer that you'd like to have as a pet, you know, to have it around your house. It's not an aggressive, malefic like artificial intelligence robot. It's that friendly robot that you'd want to have next to you around your house.
Yes, also because it has been designed in Turin by our designers, so it's not designed by AI actually. So it's there are. I remember when we were there with the guys in Centro Stile crafting the clay. You know where you do the.
I'm familiar with the fabrication process.
It's so nice to see that after all the process, to see the baby on the road. And to believe that almost 30,000 people will be happy with that until today because they ordered the car. Means that at the end someone likes it.
Exactly, that's the most important validation when you're seeing that. Of course, it's a game changer. It's something else that we've been used until now. And sometimes, yes, it takes a bit of time to get used to the future, let's put it that way. But we have to welcome the future and we have to be ready to embrace it. And this is a very modern Alfa, very modern looking Alfa, and I'm personally happy with it the way it is.